In this video, we're going to create electrical boxes, which will be positioned all around the building and define our wire network, which we will create in the next video. So we have to create these boxes now, so we know where the wires are going to come from. We're going to have few boxes on this side of the building, one in the back, two on this side, and one in the front. We will also adjust the electrical pipes. We're going to create the bigger box first. So let's create a cube, move it to the side of the building and into position right here up near the second floor. Set width to 35, height to 23, and depth to 10. Let's modify the pivot point to be in the back vertex. This box will overlap these two pipes. So let's move it into position by snapping it to the grid and aligning to the wall. I'm going to center it a bit better between these two pipes and delete this back face. We're going to bevel the front edges to create some additional geometry so it's not a 90-degree angle. Select these edges, press Ctrl B to bevel, and I'm going to set fraction to 0.05. And this looks pretty good. That's it. That's all we need to do for the electrical box. Now we're going to create a smaller box that will be positioned at the bottom of this wall. So create a cube, move it into place, and then we're going to set width to 11, height to 16, and depth to 5. Modify the pivot point to be at a back vertex, and delete the back face. Let's snap it to the grid and align it to the wall. I'm going to move it up into position, and now we're going to adjust this pipe by moving the bottom vertices all the way up. I don't want this pipe to extend all the way down to the ground, and it will end right at this electrical box at the top. And I will have a couple of wires running down from the big box down to the small box. Let's come down, and we're going to bevel the front edges for the smaller box just like we did for the larger box. So select the edges, press Ctrl B to bevel, and I'm going to set fraction to 0.1. This bevel is almost identical to the larger box at the top. So let me show you for comparison. I'm going to move this box up, and we can see that this bevel is almost identical. Let's undo and move the box back. We're going to have one more small electrical box on this side of the building, near the stairs. And for this, we're just going to duplicate what we just created and move it into position. And you probably guessed that we do want to UV the duplicated box first, so they share the same texture. But we will do this in the UV phase, because we need to establish where these boxes are going to be before creating our wire network. And we're getting close to finishing up the modeling, so we just want to get this done. Let's duplicate the small box again, and we're going to use it for the back. Move it up, rotate it 90 degrees, snap it to the grid, aligning to the building. Duplicate this box again, and move it to the other side of the building. Here we'll have two boxes. So let's position this in place. Then we're going to duplicate it, move this one down and to the side, and then go into vertice component mode and resize this box to be more square. We're not going to scale this box because it will mess up the bevel distance. So we're going to do it manually by moving the vertices. And that looks pretty good. That's what we want. Then let's take the small box again and duplicate it for the last time. We're going to move this to the front of the building, rotate it 90 degrees, move it up, and position it right next to the building's lamp. Right about there, and this is good. And that's it. We are done with electric boxes. We now want to come back to the electrical pipes and adjust them for the electrical boxes and the electrical meter. The fact that these pipes are overlapping the electrical box and the electrical meter is not a big deal. This is not an issue and is not going to cause any problems. But just for the sake of maintaining clean geometry, we're going to fix these so the pipes don't go through the entire geometry. Let's snap these bottom vertices to the grid, then enable multi-cut tool, press Ctrl-Shift-X, and create 2 straight cuts in this pipe. Then delete these inner faces and snap the vertices for both of these pipes to the grid and make sure they are inside the electric box. These 2 upper pipes will probably share the same UV space and texture. Also, let's go ahead and delete the faces at the top of these pipes at the cylinder caps. We still have that geometry and we don't need it. So let's go to face component mode, select these faces and delete them. And let's do the same thing for the pipe that's intersecting the electrical meter. Let's go to side view, enable multi-cut tool, Ctrl-Shift-X, create 2 cuts, delete the faces on the inside, and then move each of the vertices to the top edge and to the bottom by making sure they still intersect the meter box. So they're inside its geometry. And now we are done with the electrical boxes and pipe adjustment.